Cavs have advanced to the second round of the playoffs. We feel great about that.
Yeah.
They knew they were in a series.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that. But guys, when you look at the schedule, they just boom, you're right back in it.
Yep.
There's 2 games tonight, and the 2 other games tomorrow. I think the Lakers play tomorrow night as well in the West. And then,
it's the Cavs and the Lakers series. Those are tied at the hip, and then the 76ers, Knicks, Spurs, Timberwolves.
I like all 4. By the way, I mean, this isn't what we had hoped for, but it's a big deal to be in the final 8 teams that are standing. So they've made it here. You really want to be in that final 4. But I think this is a good accomplishment. I like the fact that they were tested. Guys, how do we think that this series with Detroit's going to play out? By the way, I looked it up. The last 10 times the Pistons and Cavs have played. You guys want to guess what the records are?
5-5.
Yeah. Even split.
My gut tells me the Cavs have been a pretty good matchup against Detroit.
Your gut is right.
I know they were 2-2 this year.
You got it.
7-3.
Cavs are they were this, but overall over the last 10, 7-3 advantage for the Cavs. Now last year the Cavs were the 1 seed and Detroit was an emerging team and looked a lot better, but that was year 1 under JB. This year they obviously are the number 1 seed for a reason. How's it going to play out, guys? What do we think is going to happen?
I love the fact that I just love the fact that it doesn't matter. Like you looked at the last series, and when you look at the last series, you may be anxious a little bit. It goes to Game 7, you pull it out at the end, you win the game, and you may have saw some things during that series that really didn't really sit right with you. But the thing that really always settles in is when you see the final 8 teams. It don't matter what you did last series. You feel a lot better when you start seeing the slate of games and you say, I got a fresh new 7.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed.
Boston and Denver are looking on saying, we didn't make it.
And dare I mention, those teams probably, if you ask people, may be better than the Cavs.
And their fan bases were thinking that if things broke their way, this could be a year where they win the title.
And so now you look at it, everything is wide open in the East. You got Detroit, who's a team that we talked about it. And right now, we mentioned this during the first hour. I mean, this is J.B. Bickerstaff's Super Bowl. You think he don't want to stick it to the Cavs? And you look at the Cavs and Kenny Atkinson, this is the referendum on were the Cavs the team that was the problem, or was the coach the problem? So now we get a chance to see those guys go back and forth. But in terms of the way I'm looking at this series, if the Cavs others can play the same way that they did in Game 7, which is asking a lot, I think the Cavs have a really good chance of beating the Pistons. But I must say, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, you did not have a good series, bro. If you guys want to get to where y'all need to go, you guys are going to have to play a much better series or you will be going home. And it was strange because Jason, I hadn't seen Donovan Mitchell play a bad series like that since he's been here. I can't remember him having an entire series where he was kind of off a little bit. I don't know if maybe that was me, but I had to go back and think about that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, he definitely looked off. He's had playoff games of 50 points and 2 40-point games with the Cavs. He was not at that level at this time. And, I mentioned the first hour. That's the glass half full as the Cavs were able to advance despite Donovan not being at his best. The glass half empty, you nailed it. They're not going to continue if they don't get better performances out of Donovan and James. But who would ever thought when they fired JB that JB would be back in their life this quickly?
Fast, like
no
this.
kidding.
Like in year 2, boom, here we go. And you're
2
right.
2 years ago today, he was still their coach.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
So, and the Cavs very clearly told you they felt like the coach was the problem and not the roster because the only change they made at the time was JB, and they brought back the entire roster. And obviously, since then, they've made the Darius trade for Harden.
Yeah.
But he knows the score. He knows what was said and what wasn't said, and he knows how to defend these guys. Who knows how to guard Donovan better than JB?
Yeah.
Who knows the strengths and weaknesses better? Who knows the strength and weaknesses of Evan better, although granted Evan's been playing better. Yeah, all that
everything
stuff.
Else.
So I think it'll be a great series. I think it's going to be a really physical series. Detroit is huge, just in size-wise. They're big. They're going to try and bully the Cavs. We've had the toughness talk for years, and Detroit will bring the fight to Cleveland, and we'll see how they maintain that and how they sustain it.
I love what you said. I don't even know if you'd thought about it, but when you said it, I'm like, that's a poster. The Others.
Yeah.
The Others. Max Strus's face is on there. You can win a series in the first round with your 2 best players just telling the team, jump on my back, let's go. We got it. They did it in reverse. Yeah. I think they won this series because the others. At times, there were 4 or 5 different guys in that others category that said, okay, you're not doing it? Jump on Jarrett Allen's back.
Yep.
Jump on Evan Mobley's back. So I think if they can figure out the piece between Mitchell and Harden, and those guys can come back to life like we know they can, and the others can still contribute in major ways in really tight spots. That's what I loved about it. Some of their performances came when they were backs against the wall. So I think this was a huge confidence boost for the others. Now we just got to get the stars jump-started and get them all on the same page. I shudder to think what this team can look like if the core 4 can all play at their peak at the same time, while the others fill in the can backfill with key performances, key buckets, key stops in big moments in the series. I'm going Cavs in 7. I think this is going to be
So you think they're winning
series.
A Game 7 in Detroit?
I know it.
Well, that's the thing.
I think they can do that.
Well, they're going to have to win a road game at some point.
Absolutely.
And that's if they all goes well at home. And obviously they couldn't win one on the road in Toronto. I said before the start of the playoffs, the only team I would pick to beat them is Boston. I got to hold to that, at least for now. So I'm with you. I don't feel great about it. Detroit's a slight favorite. Not much, right? Detroit's not much.
It's almost even. I saw Detroit to win the series was minus 120. The Cavs were plus 102, which is basically
it's real close.
About as even as you're going to get in a second round.
So Detroit's a
matchup.
slight favorite. I'm with you. I'll take Cavs in 7. I don't feel great about it, but I do think that they find a way.
I would love, first and foremost, we noticed that we've now introduced Jarrett Allen into the core 4. We on YouTube. We got to give Jarrett Allen his flowers. I don't want him to make it seem like if you didn't see that first hour. Listen, Jarrett Allen is the reason the Cavs are moving on. His playoff performance, he gave you everything that he was being maligned for. He gave you grit, toughness, physicality, want to, hustle, rebounding, all of those things that really turn this game around. And if we're going to need all that against Jalen Duren. You're going to need that against Tobias Harris and some of those guys in the way that Detroit goes about playing the game. Now, I will say this. I think if the best case scenario, if you can go in there and you can catch Detroit playing around, you catch them game 1. And they just got off a tough series. They have not been in the playoffs all that much. You catch them coming off an Orlando series, and then you come in and you still game 1. You put the onus on them. If you can catch game 1, now they got to catch up. And what they did, certainly like Orlando did. Orlando kind of put them on their heels a little bit, but Orlando couldn't finish them. I think that the Cavs have enough offensive firepower that they could be able to steal the game 1 and then now have to tell them, all right, well, you got to come to Cleveland and win a game, and somebody else besides Kate Cunningham has to kill us.
Right. I like your approach there. I do think if you're going to win a road game, Game 7 certainly is going to be the most difficult.
That's a difficult one.
And like you said, catch him napping. Hit him between the eyes right off the jump in Game 1. If you steal Game 1, it's demoralizing in a lot of ways because what it really tells, and the Pistons did lose Game 1 against Orlando.
Yeah, they did.
And they rebounded. But what it tells you is you can almost chuckle at them and said, you guys gave max effort for 82 and we just swiped it from you.
Yeah.
That means nothing now. Now we have our destiny at home. And I like that. But I still have them in 7. I think that they might win Game 1, but Detroit might steal one in Cleveland.
The way that the Cavs have played at home, they have not been world beaters at home.
No, they haven't.
They haven't. I mean, and this is what I'm going to say. Cavs, Kenny, you guys, let me talk to y'all. You guys play much better when you get the crowd. The Cavs have one of the best home court advantages in the world. When Rocket Mortgage or the Q starts rocking, it's deafening. I put it right up there with Golden State. I put it right up there with Toronto. You got to give guys something to cheer for early, though.
Yeah.
Don't have them sitting on their hands.
Well, last night games it come out to a 5-0 hole, just off tip.
Nah,
Get the crowd going. Mike, did I hear Mike Tirico right last night? By the way, the guy just amazes me. He's
I was at the game, so I didn't hear Tirico.
Okay.
Yeah, this dude does everything.
Tirico's
Golf,
insane.
Tennis,
Whatever.
whatever you want.
I think I heard this right. Maybe you guys read this. I think he said there were 48 first-round games, and that's the most ever. I think that's what he said. Maybe we can look that up.
I know it was the first.
Everything.
It was
went
the first
6 or
time
7.
6 of the 8 series all went to at least Game 6.
Yeah,
That
and
was-
of course
I
I
know
have a
that.
buddy who's a conspiracy theorist. He goes, "Yeah, the NBA's ratings are down. They need the cash. Of course, all these series are going to go in the distance."
Well, you know this. You lived in TV your whole life. What my understanding was, and I'm curious now with the streaming deals, if this is still accurate, a sweep, networks lose money.
big.
5, you break even.
Yep,
6
that's
is a
exactly
profit. 7 is a cash cow.
You're exactly right.
Is that still the case?
I
with
don't know
streaming?
because I don't know the semantics of those streaming deals.
Yeah.
I do know that those streaming packages were very lucrative
Yeah.
for the league.
Yeah.
So it might not be that anymore, but we're seeing an odd time in the NBA because I think it went through a period of massive growth and explosion, particularly on the international stage as the foreign players started to have more and more influence in the game. But this short trend of fewer viewers is a bad trend. And the way you can offset that is get these playoff series to go longer. And so far, the league is thanking the NBA, the basketball gods, because we had long series in round one, and typically that's where you have the shortest series.
The showcases for the showcase for the NBA playoff basketball, like you say what you want about the regular season. Man, listen, in terms of the product, in the playoffs, the NBA is top notch. You look at the parity. Like you can say they put the restraints on where now you look at teams like, even the first round games where a lot of teams did not have the opportunity to say, hey, we're getting swept. Everything was competitive. And you also started to see, what I look at with the Cavs is your health plays a lot of roles into it.
Yep.
If you say Jason Tatum plays in that game, guess what? I think the Boston Celtics win that. You take a look at Kevin Durant being out for the Rockets. Luka ain't played at all for the Lakers.
And guys, on that note, Mike, I thought load management was supposed to mean these guys were healthy when it counts. Look at the key players that were dinged in the playoffs.
It don't matter.
Injuries happen at a rate we haven't seen before. And
so
load management sounds great on paper, but it just takes one weird step. You could properly load manage like the Cavs did all last season.
And it blew up in their
Game 2,
faces.
DeAndre Hunter hurts his thumb. Mobley lands on someone's ankle. Darius's toe flares up.
Season over. Just like that.
Think about for the Raptors. Brandon Ingram and Quickly didn't. Ingram didn't play the last 2 games. Quickly didn't play. If you look at the Raptors probably say, they probably feel like
if we should have
won that series.
Yeah,
the Raptors were better off without Ingram
that point,
Quickly.
The Cavs are the healthiest they've been ever under this era entering a postseason. There's no excuse not to win this series.
No, last year they mowed through Miami in the first round, made it look easy. If Orlando wouldn't have blown, and by the way, it cost their coach his job. If Orlando hadn't blown that 20-point lead in the second half, you got a 6, a 7, and an 8. In the second round of the playoffs. And I don't know if that's ever happened.
No, I don't think so. And Cavs would have home court.
They would have home court.
Do you like the matchup better for the Cavs or Orlando or Detroit?
I don't know. Orlando always plays us tough, and they're pesky, and they're tough.
When you look at what Detroit does really well, they are incredibly physical. They want to make it a boxing match. Yeah. They want to be able to just beat you up over the course of 7 games and hope that by the time Game 7 rolls around, you don't have the gumption or the will or the strength left to go into another bar fight.
And we're not the perfect team for that.
On paper, no. The Cavs did just survive a 7-game bar fight mini. We'll call it a bar fight light against Toronto. They should be more prepared than they have in the past. But when you look at the offensive options for Detroit. Cade Cunningham is a legit superstar.
He is.
Legitimate superstar. Outside of that, you have Tobias Harris, who is up and down. Had a great Game 7 yesterday, 30 points. He had 17 in the second quarter. Tobias Harris is instilling the fear of day into the Cavs. You have Duncan Robinson, who's a really good three-point shooter, but that's all he does.
Right.
You have Jalen Duren, who was an All-NBA guy this year, who got completely negated by Orlando in the first round of the playoffs. This is his first real playoff run. We'll see if he can find the old Jalen Duren from the regular season, but the playoff Jalen Duren thus far has been significantly below what you expect. You have Asar Thompson, who is an incredible defender, but if you get mad when Dean Wade doesn't shoot, wait till you see what happens when Asar Thompson, it looks like he is actively trying to get as far away from the basket as possible. He has a ton of potential, but he's so good defensively that he can be out there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look to shoot. Their best scorer off the bench is a guy named Dennis Jenkins, who most people don't even know about.
Man, Jenkins,
Bro, if you look at,
Jenkins he's the new Shed. I'm like, Shed and Jenkins, the Cavs always get destroyed. Get ready for Jenkins to have 2 20-point games. Ready right now. Book it.
Jenkins game log against Orlando, 6-4, 5-3, 6-7, and 16 in Game 7.
Wow.
So up and down. So they don't really have a ton of firepower, which is why I like the matchup with Detroit better than I would have liked the matchup with Orlando, just because between Paolo, Bane, Franz Wagner, if he was healthy, Suggs and Anthony Black. I know Suggs can't make a shot right now. They just had more guys that I think could kill you on a night-to-night basis than Detroit does.
If you look at, I know Vegas was looking at what happened in the regular season and the fact that Toronto's at home. That's why they have them as a slight favorite. But if you showed basketball aficionados just the rosters and you didn't tell them how many games either team won in the regular season, you'd pick Cavs in 5.
Yeah.
I mean, just from roster power, they own it. They've got these guys that are max guys and that are looked at as pillars to an organization. And Detroit has one.
I'm going Cavs in 6. No, I'm going Cavs in 6. I'm going Cavs in 6.
Okay.
6 is rough. Yeah. I knew he was going to say 6. Cavs in 6. So
I'll tell you what, his is probably more likely than ours because I don't know if they're winning a Game 7 in Detroit.
That's why I'm going with 6.
Right. Like, I'm asking him which one of them
games
is they winning? The Cavs is winning in Detroit.
I think they're winning 2 games in Detroit.
2? Which one?
I think they win Game 1 in Detroit. They lose Game 2. I think it's 2-2. After the first 4, they both split home and home. Cavs win Game 5 in Detroit, and then close it out Game 6.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice.
I mean, that sounds good.
Like, the ask of winning a Game 7 on the road in the NBA playoffs, and by the way, I think it matters for Detroit. It's Detroit and Cleveland, and it's not exactly Boston and New York, but we hate each other.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter the sport.
And 2 great crowds, by the way.
Yeah,
Detroit is a great basketball crowd. Cleveland is a great basketball.
I just don't want to hear Detroit basket. Listen, I'm still listen. I had to wear the jersey today. I had the 25 points. The last 25, I had to pull out the old school LeBron joint. The last 25. I'm gonna tell you this. I like the Pistons. I'm not gonna disrespect the Pistons, but. Here's the thing that you can be encouraged by the Cavs. I like the fact that the Cavs got pushed to almost a death sentence. And I like the fact that the people that came and saved their seasons is guys that is not named Donovan Mitchell and not named James Harden. And it was a point in time where I was watching that game being like, oh, the cape ain't coming on for none of these 2 dudes.
And
the cape ain't coming out.
If you knew about Game 7, you would say that the Cavs season's
right.
over.
But Max Strus came out of nowhere. And by the way, we haven't spoke about him. Jaylon Tyson said something at halftime, and I said, you know what? I need to play young guys that are oblivious. Sometimes you could be young and don't understand that you ain't supposed to be doing that. He was like, Jaylon, you guys were down 12. What are you thinking about? How did you close the gap? He was like, hey man, when they pass you the ball, man, be ready to shoot. You just gotta be ready to shoot, and with confidence too. You know what I'm saying? Be ready. I'm like. That was the most mid-sauce answer in the world. But you know what? It worked.
Simple.
It's simple. Hey, delusional nature when they throw you the ball. And I think he hit a shot. The Cavs were down 3, and Jalen Tyson hit a 3. And I'm like, oh, okay, we right back in it. All we needed to do was tie it up. So I think if we can get that from some of these guys, I think the Cavs have enough firepower. Because Donovan one game going to get hot. Harden's going to be hot one game.
You're not keeping those guys down for 2 series in a row.
No. Somebody's going to find a way.
Well,
Remember,
we'll begin to find out 31 hours from now.
They kind of steered their way toward this matchup. This is the one they want. They didn't hide that. Like Kenny said, we look at stuff like this. This is the matchup you wanted. You got a fully healthy roster. Here you go.
Yeah. And JB is saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Jared Allen, can we bottle whatever you had? If Jared Allen plays 90% of what he played in this game,
we're not losing.
We're not losing the series. It's on you, Jared.
And by the way, the Lakers, Cavs. The Lakers aren't going to get past OKC, but it's still on the table. It is still on the table. Wouldn't you love that, Jay?
That would be something.
That would be pretty much Christmas.
Is Luka and Reeves going to play?
Reeves is back.
I think
Luka
so.
is still
Both of them,
TBD.
right?
Reeves is back. Luka is hopefully sometimes this series.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's not back.
If LeBron,
they're not beating OKC without him.
It doesn't matter. They're not beating OKC.
I don't think they are either. OKC's winning it all.
If LeBron beats OKC with SGA, because he has the league in his back pockets, boy, that man gonna beat to the free throw line 66 times. But if he beats OKC without Luka, he's the greatest of all time.
Woo! That's a big ask, though.
I don't think it's possible. And
I don't either.
If he does that,
I don't know if he beats OKC with Luka.
Thank you. Like, look, he is throwing oops to his son, which is weird.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is
very weird.
That is the biggest flex in the history of mankind.
Come on, son, let's go beat him.
Here you go, dog. Yeah, listen.
Can you imagine?
I remember when I had you, son.
That's kind of like when Jay and AJ teamed up in the WKYC UCSF softball game.
It was just like that.
Come on, son, let's go get him.
It was just like that.
Oh my goodness! But it's still alive.
Still alive.
I'm saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Oh my God, you talk about great TV. That would be it.